Waves. It's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks. Now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll, Tide, roll!
Roll Tide, roll. Good morning, good morning, good morning. As we move throughout the week, we welcome you maniacs into the program RTR on this beautiful Tuesday morning. Tuesday means we have DC Capstone Report, getting his insights and thoughts. We'll also welcome you in to get your insight and thoughts, comments, and reactions to the news of the day. 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. That's the Empowerment Training and Consulting Hotline. Give us a call. Give us a buzz. Let us hear from you. Of course, maniacs who join us online on the online network, we welcome you into the program as well. We cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Anything breaking yesterday from the SEC media days that jumps out at you? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not going to use the audio, but I am gonna talk about one of Alabama's opponents. Maybe he's coming in to make a little noise in the media. I remember when Simeon was in high school, and they were coming off of not having a great season when this coach was hired. But dang, they look good getting off the bus. Woo! I said, fake it till you make it. At least let them see you coming, let them know you're coming, and act like you belong when you show up. But one of Alabama's opponents on this year's schedule did that at SEC Media Days. We'll also try to work in some conversation from SEC Commissioner as he talked about two big issues, the legislation and the playoffs. We didn't even bring those two topics up yesterday, so we'll break that down. We'll get DC's thoughts on Alabama's opponents that have shown up and will be showing up at SEC Media Days. Get what he thinks by the end of today, by the time we're on air tomorrow, 5 of Alabama opponents will have taken the mic. What's going to be Alabama's record? Will Alabama's record be 5-0 against those opponents? 4-1, 3-2. What are your thoughts there? So we'll break that down, get those comments, time permitting. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Uh, and of course, good morning, Simeon. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Doing good.
Good, good, good. X is out on assignment today, so there's a seat for you at the table, Maniacs. We'll go ahead and pull up. And then DC, how you doing, sir?
Doing great. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing well. Good to have you on. Gonna get you. Miss you last week. You're gonna be out on assignment the next couple of weeks, so got to try to get all your thoughts about the SEC and all that. By the time you get back, DC, I mean practice will be rolling, man. So
That's right. That's right.
yeah,
It's gonna be really good. And don't forget, we got a good basketball thing to talk about today too. You know, my basketball is what I love to talk about too.
hey DC, you can't be taking over the show, man.
Oh, come on now! Anytime you get a 7-footer, you got to talk about it.
Absolutely. We're gonna hit that before because we don't want to lose that in the SEC conversation. But leave it to Nate Oates. Leave it to Nate Oates. Now, does anyone? I asked Simeon, what is Nate Oates up to? Does anyone think this is an accident?
No.
I mean, some stories, Simeon, this just FYI, Simeon, in the media world, if you are a coach and you want to hide a story, you wait till Friday afternoon, 4:35 or later. Okay? That's tradition. Because you're going into the weekend and everybody that's looking at the internet on their work, you know, when they supposed to be working and searching stuff up on their phones and their computers at work, they're packing their stuff up. They already got it turned off, and so you can kind of hide the story, and then because then they're into their weekend, they're not worried about you, right? Or if you want to break something, you hit at the beginning of the week at the high point. NATO's breaking news yesterday, Simeon. 7-footer. Played in the NBA Academy, Latin Academy, prep school, 19 years old, 7 foot, 266, and wearing number 22. Like I said, with Nate Oates being messy.
I'm looking at him. I've never seen him wear 22 before, so maybe his number 21 jersey wasn't available. I don't know.
Let's you can kind of hear. We do have a video clip. So for those of you who are on the radio, you'll hear the commentators just a little bit. Not going to show much, but here's Alabama's latest edition, and we'll come back and talk a little bit about what we see him doing on the court, because it looks good compared to what we've seen from the 7-footers in the past. Dunk.
Oh.
Move and dunk.
Hey, he's been. Oh, nice find.
Find the open spot.
Good find.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, we talked about
running
that
the
in
floor.
Game. In Virginia. Nice
reverse move.
There. Partner is making guys
triple
kind of double clutch. I know.
Flip back.
Okay, I'm used to it. I gave him a little tap on the shoulder, tap on the back, time score, but 15 tonight. That's what to do is go against the zone. Because it kind of
defending at the rim and so much more, man. It does seem like this guy has. Of course, DC. We know this is the high school level, but and prep level, so a little more than just regular high schoolers. But you can make anybody look like a champion, a highlight, but you cannot make somebody move just because it's highlights.
Yeah, can't make somebody move, and you can't make somebody 7 foot tall. That comes with this young man. And look, what I'm talking about is Nate Oates. I mean, we're talking about late in the year, just happened to have a scholarship, just happened to have one handy, No, I don't think. I think it was planned. Been looking at this kid, been researching, been doing his due diligence, and talk about this team. What did we say that they needed to do to compete in the finals, the Final Four? We had to get big men. We weren't big enough. weren't massive enough inside. All the players, all the teams who beat us with big men. Not just one or two, but several that are backups that can play and give you good minutes when you need them to come in when others get in foul trouble. And so this is another addition. I mean, we're talking about probably the tallest team Alabama has ever had under Nate Oates, wouldn't you say, Martin?
Yeah, I think, Simeon, you had some numbers.
Yeah, with the addition of him, he is the sixth. Alabama now has 6 players that are 6'10" and taller. So this team, I mean, has to be the biggest team, I think, by far that Nate Oates has had at Alabama.
Yeah, I can't remember any team that I've watched where Alabama had that type of height and the size. The only question I always have is sort of like the trenches, man. Can you be physical? When we talked to Coach DeBoer, Simeon, he talked about athleticism and moving and all that. But what did he say that you have to be? He said
Physical.
you have to be physical. One other note before we get to break here, guys. Greg Byrne was asked about Holloway, and he's practicing. He hasn't met the qualifications, but I do like the fact that as long as he takes care of his part, because what my concern was that he was going to have to meet all these requirements before he could join the team, DC.
Yeah, I think that was a really big thing the announced yesterday, subtly telling us that not only is it possible, it's probable that he comes back as long as he meets his requirements. In other words, he's not sitting on the sideline having to meet all the requirements first. But I think he's going through the checklist that the court gave him. I think he's already checked off a lot of those things that they had to do. And he's getting to a point now where, he's practicing with the team. He's going to be able to be ready should he be able to be reinstated by the team. And if that happens, he does, and appears to be, if he does everything the court's asking him to do, everything the school's asking him to do, then he'll be reinstated. And at that time, he'll be ready to play based on his practice with the team.
Yeah, and that second chance program is not an easy program, and it's not a short program.
No.
It's like 3 to 5 months. So he is going to be into that program through the summer and even into the beginning of school, which is a good thing, which gives a chance to get him back into the environments where he had messed up and a chance to show the ability to function and operate in this new season, second chance that he's getting. So, but good. It was good news to hear. A couple comments. Jacob Powell said Nate Oates will try and turn him into a 3-point shooter by his second week.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope that when he's in, that they have him playing down under the rim. I didn't see anything in highlight showing him shooting the ball. So
I think it's clear this is going to be an at-rim protector and an at-rim scorer. I don't think there's going to be a chance that he'll be 2-3.
Yeah, I think that I know Nate loves the 3, and I know Nate loves to finish at the rim. I just hope that they do have an option when the 3's not going and you're not getting layups. Like against Michigan, when they figured it out, that was it. You better have the ability. You have to add something to at least get them off their spot. And what I saw in that highlight film, he may bring some of that. Now, I'm not putting all this pressure on this young man that's first year out. So he's going to be a backup piece, most likely. Or Nate could have found the diamond in the rough. I mean, I'm not going to put anything past Nate Oates. To me, he's on the same trajectory for what we've accomplished in basketball for what Saban was doing in football. I know people find that hard to believe, but the level that he has had Alabama basketball consistently competing at is what Saban was doing in football. He's taken basketball and kept it where basketball never went.
And the ability to adapt to push together what you need to compete in the arena that you're playing in. I mean, he's shown that ability as well, like Saban did.
Yep. As Hugh Dixon said, Nate Oates is the GOAT of Bama basketball. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We got DC Capstone report in with us. We're going to talk a little SEC media on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. No brake lights to worry about quite yet. Interstate's in solid shape. 2059 east and west. I like what I see out towards Birmingham. 359's working well, getting you through downtown. Nothing to worry about at McFarland quite yet. Take advantage of the great ride while you can. 15 streets in solid shape. Same story. Greensboro Ave next to 359. Lurleen Wallace is in great shape, getting you to and from the interstate. Everything else seems to be working well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Andrew Seco.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then, you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises. All on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices. Exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com.
Hey, this is Wyatt Fulton from Tide 100.9. We are live down here in Tampa, Florida for SEC Media Days 2026, presented to you by Pearl River Resort and the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Tune in all week on Tide 100.9 for press conferences, updates, and interviews from all 16 teams across the Southeastern Conference as we get you ready for the 2026 college football season. Be sure to tune in all week on Tide 100.9 for coverage from 2026 SEC Media Days in Tampa, Florida, presented to you by the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino and Pearl River Resort.
When it comes to custom apparel, trust your local experts at B&B Sports and Silkscreen in Northport. We specialize in team uniforms, event apparel, company branding, and custom hat patches. We offer professional screen printing, DTF prints, and embroidery with fast turnaround times and quality you can count on. Give us a call today for a free quote at 205-339-7361. That's 205-339-7361. Locally owned, locally trusted, and ready to bring your ideas to life.
They're back and ready to rock. 38 Special. 50-year legacy tour. Saturday, November 14th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. On sale now at pearlriverresort.com. 38 Special. Come party to a rockin' legacy that spans over 5 decades.
Hi, robot thing. Rotten, soggy egg salad sandwich in lunchbox. Clean?
Just use Clorox disinfecting wipes.
Glitter slime paper mache explosion? Clean?
Also, Clorox disinfecting wipes.
Son.
Yes.
Snot rocketed.
Yes.
All over
yes.
The kitchen counter.
Clorox disinfecting wipes. Kills 99.9% of germs without smelling like it. Clorox. Clean feels good. Used as directed.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Here's your Tuscaloosa and West Alabama forecast. Prepare for dangerous heat. Sunshine here today, 97, feeling like 105, and a gentle east breeze at 5. Partly cloudy, muggy tonight, low 77, dangerously hot. Clouds and a slight chance of afternoon storms tomorrow. By tomorrow reaching 96, sunny skies. Better chance of afternoon storms on Thursday. And of course, we're watching Tropical Storm Bertha as it continues to head toward southeast Louisiana. Richard DeWetting at the Weather Channel for Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
It's 75 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We want to thank you for being part of the program. Remember that we're able to do what we do because we have great sponsors like Box Eye Care, who powers us each and every day. Also, the good folks over at Dixie Battery Supply. Never feel powerless again. Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value every time, 50 plus years and counting. The venue, one place, but many options. So go check them out in empowerment training and consulting, helping you build organizational health, championship performance, and and sustainable execution. So if you want to join that roster of champions, shoot me an email, Martin at martinhouston.org. You can get in starting with low packages that gets you in and on the air, all the way up to sponsoring segments, empowering certain aspects of the program. So we'd love you to join the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier and Simeon as one of our powerful rosters, and you'll get a great value both on the radio airwaves as well as all over the World Wide Web and social media platforms, from X to Facebook, social media, TikTok. We got them all covered. So that's the Martin Hughes Show. Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. All right, guys. Big day yesterday, kicking things off. Two of Alabama opponents was on the docket, but one came out swinging. I mean, Will Stein, looks like the choir boy, but, church boy. Was asked, why do you think Kentucky is going to be successful, DC, Simeon? He looked back at the mic and said, "Thoughts of me." Thoughts, DC.
Yeah, he had a lot of bravado, right? A lot of bravado. I guess I haven't seen Kentucky what they're going to put on the field this year, but I think sometimes you talk like that to give confidence to your players and that sort of thing. Or maybe because you believe in what you're saying. I'm not sure where I guess I didn't see him on the field yet. What did your old coach used to say? Sometimes it's like whistling through the cemetery.
Yeah, that's right. Whistling as you walk through the graveyard cemetery there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a little nervous, but I like it. Simeon, what's your thoughts, man?
I mean, go for it. When has Kentucky football ever brought this much attention to themselves? It's getting people to talk about, Kentucky. So I think his mission was accomplished. People are talking like, man, Kentucky might be something, to deal with.
And the scary part about a Kentucky is can they have that Indiana type of feel? I mean, this is no different than Indiana 2 years ago. Okay, who was expecting Indiana? I know last year they were coming off a win, but everybody at the beginning of the season going, okay, is this a fluke? Is this a fluke? This is a fluke. Is this a? And all of a sudden, no matter who was on their schedule, they were destroying them. Yeah. And they had an easy schedule. But I think Kentucky's adding like almost 30 players to the roster from the prior year. And he got guys from places like Tennessee and Texas and, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. His quarterback is from Notre Dame. One running back from Texas, one running back from Oklahoma, a wide receiver from LSU, an offensive lineman from Tennessee. Olas from Alabama is, playing tackle. Interior offensive lineman from Ohio State. So, I mean, all those guys were scholarship players somewhere else. If they come there, all of a sudden, Alabama, early on especially, it makes this a potentially dangerous game, guys.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I think that anytime you have that many players coming in and you not know what you're dealing with, it's dangerous to see what what they're gonna put on the field. But early in the season, anybody can be dangerous, especially someone who's got a coach that's got the bravado that he showed in the opening in media days. I mean, it makes your players feel good about their coach and where he thinks they are, and instills confidence. A lot of players who got talent in other places want to prove themselves somewhere new, and that confidence helps them do that.
Well, go ahead, Sam.
I mean, it could brew to be a dangerous game for Alabama, just based off of strictly what has happened in the past. I mean, if you go not Kentucky, Vanderbilt and Florida State, those are two games that nobody thought that Alabama would lose going into it, but you see what happened, and you saw how teams have galvanized just around beating Alabama. And I don't think Kentucky is going to be scared of Alabama. I mean, but based off of those games alone right there. So Alabama's going to have to come play. But when we were talking and had Coach DeBoer on the radio show, he acknowledged that Eastern Carolina and Kentucky, these games were not something that we were going to take lightly.
Yeah, and remember when you're building a program, Clark had to at Vanderbilt. What did he have to do? You had to believe that you could win, right? And they got a quarterback that came in that said, "Hey, we can beat these teams. I beat SEC schools when I was at New Mexico State. We definitely have more talent." Well, when you look at guys from Notre Dame, forget the players. You have now infused in just 29 new players, but I gave you Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma, LSU, Tennessee, Alabama, Ohio State. What do all those players from those programs already know how to do? Win. So now the coach isn't. Go ahead.
I said, and a culture of winning. They come from a culture of winning. They can bring that to Kentucky, who hadn't had that. That's a missing ingredient.
Right. You're not having to convince everybody that you can win. You just got to convince them they can win together. Because all of these guys have played against and with Alabama guys. Olas is up there going, okay, this guy's soft. The media hypes him up, but he's soft.
To be fair, I don't know if you can say that about the O-line. Everybody gone. Except oh, okay. I was about to say everybody but Carroll.
Yeah. He left. He can't say anything about the O-line being soft because he left. So if they were soft, if he talked about the O-line and he say they were soft, and they'll be like, well, why did you leave? You left Alabama to come to Kentucky because of what? Right? So definitely there. But Kentucky, Tennessee, real quick. Any thoughts on Tennessee and what Heupel had to say? Tennessee is kind of one of those things for the history of this series. It's always been streaks of wins. The question is, who's going to start a streak next, or will it flip back and forth again? So come back on the other side. Two teams down from Alabama. You have Georgia, Auburn, South Carolina coming up today. We'll talk about those teams as well. And is Alabama going to be 2-0? are 1-1 from the first two teams up, and we'll talk about the next three.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. No brake lights to worry about quite yet. Interstate's in solid shape. 2059 east and west. I like what I see out towards Birmingham. 359's working well, getting you through downtown. Nothing to worry about at McFarland quite yet. Take advantage of the great ride while you can. 15 streets in solid shape. Same story. Greensboro Ave next to 359. Lurleen Wallace is in great shape, getting you to and from the interstate. Everything else seems to be working well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Andrew Seco.
With Taco Casa, it's not really fast food because it's made fresh every day in the store. The quality hasn't changed. The consistency hasn't changed because we haven't changed anything in the food. It's made fresh every morning in every restaurant. I think buzzwords in today's food industry are locally sourced and high quality ingredients. We want to say, that sounds great. We've been doing that since 1974.
Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa.
They're back and ready to rock. 38 Special. 50-year legacy tour. Saturday, November 14th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. On sale now at pearlriverresort.com. 38 Special. Come party to a rockin' legacy that spans over 5 decades.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
New Mazdas under $29,900. Now through Monday at the all-new Tuscaloosa Mazda. Save thousands during our grand reopening with 3 new models under $29,900. Hot new Mazda 3s, the all-wheel drive CX-30, and the rugged new CX-50. They're all under $29,900. Under $29,900 for a brand new Mazda. Now at the all-new Tuscaloosa Mazda. Plus, get 0% financing. 0 for 72 months. And you don't need perfect credit. Plus, acres of Mazda certified pre-owned. Save thousands during our grand reopening with 3 new models. Mazda 3s, CX-30s, and CX-50s. Your choice under $29,900. And 0% financing for 72 months. Now through Monday at Tuscaloosa Mazda. New location, corner of Skyland East Boulevard and Palisades Drive. TuscaloosaMazda.com. TuscaloosaMazda.com. For details, visit TuscaloosaMazda.com.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
We've had on our staff, other guys that we've had on our staff that have been able to go on and be a head coach. Jeff inside of this league and Jerry Mack at Kennesaw. Alex has done a really good job. Did a great job flipping around his previous stop. He's smart. He's got a clear plan on what he wants to accomplish and going to demand it from the people around him, and excited for him and his opportunity.
Yeah, I figured I'd just take a second and let kind of combine Tennessee and Auburn talk into one. DC, I was Simeon, as we were going to break, I was talking about, does Alabama go on a streak, start another streak? Because, DC, our entire lifetime, with the exceptions of like a couple of years, it's been 8 wins by Tennessee, 10 wins by Alabama, 6 by Tennessee, and I'm just making up numbers. It's just always been streaky. Now we're in a flip-flop. Is that going to be a situation, or does Alabama make it 2 in a row?
Well, I mean, you have to look at the time we're in. I think in times past, the streaks were easier to do with the NIL and the transfer portal and all that. It can be difficult to get streaks. So I don't know that we're going back into streak days, but I think Tennessee's, based on what I heard Heupel talk about, he talked about a lot of things. About it, most of it was on roster management and having to rebuild. So I think this is going to be a rebuilding year for Tennessee. I think they were hit hard in the quarterback room when they had some departures, and then they weren't able to hit with the transfer and different things. So I think it's going to be a rebuilding year for Tennessee. I'm not sure that they're at the same level that Heupel is used to have coached there.
Yeah, they're in trouble. What they try to get that guy Simeon with his 8th year?
Oh yeah, Joey, you are an additional year. Yeah, but I mean, Tennessee. I think they offensively they're in a somewhat similar position as Alabama. They're having 2 guys battle it out for a QB position that are young and don't have much experience. Running game wise, I think they might be a little bit ahead of Alabama, at least from last year going to this year. So that's one thing they probably are going to lean on a ton this year, which might make them one-dimensional.
Yeah, and what's the name is known for as this wide open pass type of guy, but he always has a physical run game. You go back and look the last few, kind of reminds me of the days, DC, back when everybody used to talk about fun and gun under Spurrier, but Spurrier was always either leading the SEC or in the top in the SEC in the run game. And Heupel's done the same thing. And Simeon, let's hope that we can duplicate in our freshman run game what Tennessee did with Bishop last year, who ended up, I think, with over 1,100 yards. But DC, Tennessee's a more physical team than what you think. And they lost some guys on that defense that was really good, but they're still supposed to be really strong at linebacker. And to me, linebackers are sort of like the quarterbacks. You get good linebackers, it kind of helps everything else be better in your defense.
I would agree, and I think they're going to have to be better defensively this year. I think that's going to have to happen. I think that's a weak link that Tennessee has had in years past is on their defense. Being able to outscore people has been their forte, and I'm not sure they'll have that ability this year if they rely on, like Simeon said, become one-dimensional in a running game.
Yeah, and so Simeon, as we look at this, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama 1-1, 0-2, or 2-0.
I think 2-0 with this team. Yeah.
What's the combined total points they win by when you add these two teams up? 3, 7, 12, 15, over under 10.
Over 10.
Over
combined. 10. Yeah, I think they're gonna beat Kentucky probably by 3 scores. And then the Tennessee game, I think with Alabama's defense, they're not going to score very much, either team. So I think it's going to be probably maybe a 7-10 point game there.
DC, your thoughts?
I think Alabama's 2-0 against those teams. I'd say that 3 touchdowns would be combined total.
Yeah, and what I do like is the fact that, I think Kentucky's going to be like any other team with a new coach. I think Kentucky could come out and have Bama fans be ready. Don't lose your mind. I think Kentucky could come out in that first quarter and you're going to have a feeling like Florida State. Okay? They had Gus Malzahn, who had confidence that could beat Alabama. They had a quarterback that talked smack all season, and we were like, we're going to shut him up. And that offense – and so I think Will Stein is a good offensive coordinator. I think he's going to have some stuff that we hadn't seen, but Womack will adjust. But the first drive or two could look like Kentucky's going to run wild. I'm not saying that they're going to score per se, but they're going to have some success probably offensively. But I'll put our defense up against a new offensive coordinator and a new staff, and Bama having a third year under the same guy. I'm taking Bama's defense in that game as well as the Tennessee game. I think our defense manages to cause some problems. I think offensively we should be hitting our stride by that time. So, yeah, I think Alabama's 2-0. Flipping it over, you got these three, Georgia, Auburn, and South Carolina. Let's hold Georgia for a second.
What about Vanderbilt?
Huh?
What about Vanderbilt?
Is Vanderbilt today too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
I don't know. They may be. I had 3 down. It may be. They may be. But either way, I want to talk about Auburn right now. The Auburn situation. Will, what's his name? And I know it's a different defense, but Auburn's head coach has had success against Alabama. And that matters, even if it's been 2 different coaches, different coach. He had success at 2 different programs against this Alabama team. Does that matter, DC? Does Golish come in with some confidence against the Crimson Tide, thinking what he did to the greatest coach ever, and then what he did to us down there, right? Made us change quarterbacks and made us look really. So he comes in with some confidence. Does that translate against this coaching staff?
Well, I think for sure that he brings a lot of swagger and a lot of confidence in there, because I think he's performed well against Alabama. He's had good players, and had a good scheme to play against Alabama. Plus, he's bringing all of his team with him from South Florida. So they're gonna have players there that feel like they can beat Alabama, along with the Auburn people who just have a want to desire to beat Alabama. It can't do anything but help them in their confidence level about going and playing Alabama. So I think he's gonna bring a lot to the Auburn team this year.
Yeah. Simeon, you have anything on Golish and the Auburn Tigers? And
yeah, I think he's gonna have a struggle this year, just because he's adjusting to the SEC. It's easier to get up for a couple games of year, and I think Byron Brown, that throwing motion, is going. SEC football is a little faster than what they're used to week in, week out, and I think that's going to cause him some struggles in the passing game. And then they're going to have a good running game, but if you with Tennessee, if you can make them one-dimensional, it's going to be hard to win in the SEC.
Yeah, and I think their issues are going to also be on defense as well. Is his offense going to be good enough to score with everybody they play against? So we'll watch that. South Carolina and Vanderbilt, I think it'll be interesting to see if Clark can find the magic again, but I think he's going to come back. I think Vanderbilt is going to come back to the back of the pack. And South Carolina is sitting there waiting, DC, on whether or not Sellers is the Sellers that they thought he was going to be last year or not. What do you have with those 2 teams?
Yeah, I agree with your assessment on both of those. I think Vanderbilt comes back to the pack here, and I think it was driven by that quarterback, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to get that same kind of play out of whoever they get at quarterback. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's going to be a little walk back of them this year. And then South Carolina, they always can compete on the level with some of the top tier teams, but it seems like during the year they always fall back to the middle of the pack, and it's based on quarterback play, offensive quarterback play. And I think that whether or not Sellers comes back with what they think he can be this year as opposed to what he was last year. And do they have enough people around him to give him a good supporting cast to help him on offense? I think they're going to have a really good defense, but I do think that I think Alabama can compete against both of those teams, South Carolina and Vanderbilt, in a way that they can beat them this year.
Last but not least, Alabama versus Georgia. Does the Tide continue to roll, DC? And whether or not what you think Alabama's record is going to be against these four opponents?
Well, I mean, I think Georgia is by far will be the one that will be the toughest of these four opponents. I think for Alabama, I think Alabama beats Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Auburn. I think Georgia will be the toughest, but I think we get them at home this year. Is that right? Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting Georgia at home is a big deal. I think that's going to be a big game. And if Alabama is, hitting on all cylinders on offense by that time, I think we have the defense to compete against Georgia. And if we can stop Georgia's running game, which I think if we can do that, then we have a chance to win that game. So I'm going to say Alabama is going to be 4-0 against these four opponents. So one of these first six, I think they're going to be 6-0.
All right. Well, there we go, man. We'll be back on the other side. Simeon, you and I will break down our thoughts on those teams on tomorrow, if we get to it. But come back on the other side. I want to get DC's thoughts on the legislation and what what Commissioner Sankey had to say about their four principles that they're looking for. Hard to believe Congress didn't address them, but nevertheless, it was Congress.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Interstate still working well. No brake lights to be found. 2059 east and west getting you to and from Birmingham. Same story. 359 north and south through downtown. Greensboro's a great alternate if things get a little bit hasty as the morning gets a little bit later. I like what I see in McFarland Boulevard east and westbound getting over the water past 15th down towards 2059. Skyland's in great shape. Between McFarland up towards 359, everything else seems to be working well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Interseco.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone.
At Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa, luxury may be closer than you think. Right here in Tuscaloosa, performance, luxury, and innovation. Visit MercedesofTuscaloosa.com for details.
Save thousands on a new Nissan, and every Women's Wednesday, get a $49.99 oil change with a complimentary multi-point inspection at Townsend Nissan. Your family in the car business.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging and replacement, batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hi, this is Gene Poole. And I'm John Poole of Hudson Poole Fine Jewelers. Shopping local means when your ring needs sizing, you bring it to us.
Shopping local means appraisals done right here in Tuscaloosa.
Shopping local means giving new life to jewelry you no longer wear.
Shopping local means supporting local schools and charities.
Shopping local means a relationship. Shop Hudson Poole Fine Jewelers, downtown Tuscaloosa.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Hey, coming up on the Tuesday edition of The Game, we'll talk to the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, Greg Sankey, stops by. We'll talk to Mike Detillier, WWL, the Big 870. JD Piquel from Home 3. We'll visit with him right here on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest-running sports talk show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. And streaming worldwide on the free Tide app.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Martin and Xavier and Simeon. Before we get that audio from Greg Sankey, want to tell you about the men's pigskin kickoff 2026 next Monday, July 27th. Headlining the event, Scott Cochran, head coach of University of West Alabama. He's also going to have Jeremiah Castile. Of course, we know his history at Alabama. He's also the team chaplain. He's going to be at the University Church of Christ. You can get a table of 8 for $400 or individual tickets for $25. David Harton, you can call him at 205-454-7088. 205-454-7088. That is the men's pigskin kickoff. It's a great event that you need to take some time to talk about. In DC, I know this is a sidebar issue. Do you think that Saban's refusal to hire Cochran was kind of, in some ways, the beginning of the end in terms of some of the metal in the armor getting a little chink in it?
Yeah, I think failure to keep him in happy at Alabama was a beginning of just seeing a break in the armor, because I think he was the kind of the coach that held the players together. And I think that's what happened, late in Saban's career. You had players, he even mentioned it, the weakness of the players, the anxiety of the players. I don't think that would have happened with Cochran on the team.
Yeah, I think Cochran was the beginning of the end because that was a lieutenant and he didn't allow him to coach or whatever, and there's different variations there. But I think what he brought to the process was underestimated. And I don't know that Alabama ever fully recovered under Saban because of that. Here's Coach Commissioner Sankey, DC, talking about the 4 principles that they want. This is a kind of a long clip, and then I'll let you come out of it with your thoughts from a legal perspective.
Principles that we believe should guide this legislative effort at this time. The first is about those national standards, which must be enforceable. If Congress establishes national rules, individuals and organizations who comply with those rules should not be subject to litigation simply for following the law. Without meaningful legal protections, we risk the continuing cycle of uncertainty that has been part of our challenge in college athletics in recent years. Second, the framework should be truly national. The legislation moves us in the right direction, but it should more fully replace the growing patchwork of state laws that are conflicting and create competitive differences based upon state borders. Remember that quote from our student athletes. We just want to know that others are held to the same standards. Third, transparency and accountability are essential. Rules governing name, image, and likeness activity are only effective if they can be enforced. And that requires meaningful transparency so everyone operates under the same expectations and the same level of accountability. Without it, loopholes undermine that competitive fairness expectation. And then fourth and finally, the legislation should treat similarly situated organizations equally while preserving institutional choice. Whether discussing conference structure or media rights, federal law should establish fair and consistent standards, not different rules for different organizations, and should preserve the voluntary decision-making rather than mandating outcomes. The areas of concern that we've identified.
That's it. DC?
Oh my God.
DC?
Yeah, I'm thinking, what he's talking about is, and you've heard I've said it before here, the government, when they try to do something, is really not the right people to be handling this issue. We should have, ADs and school presidents and people involved in the process that's making these rules, because they make up rules and they have what you call a great looking skeleton, but no meat on the bones. And so what he's talking about is, hey, the idea that you've come up with is a good idea, but you haven't gone far enough, put enough meat on the bones to make it enforceable, fair, equitable, and due process amongst all the players in the game. So I think the SEC put in like 10 different things they wanted to see done, and that would relate to these 4 topics that he's discussed here. And so I think what he's saying is the legislation is a good start, but it's nowhere near in the form that anyone would agree to, because it doesn't accomplish what they think it will. It'll just make things worse.
Yeah, I look at it. He said national standards, truly national, transparency, accountability. And we'll break this down more tomorrow. But I wanted to get your thoughts, DC, on the point number 4. You have to listen to what he says. He said, similarly situated organizations treated equally. In other words, don't make it worse by trying to make a national standard that treats the smallest Division I school and conference and TV rights the same way you do Alabama, Ohio State, and Michigan, right?
Right, because that might cause a breakaway for those schools to start their own type thing, a super conference type thing.
Did you hear that he said that they're having those conversations, not ready to go there, but that's on the table?
Yeah, I heard him say that. I don't think it was puffing either. I think it's really been those type of conversations, because that's what this type of legislation would give lend to. Get those who are similarly situated in their own conference and not be governed by the NCAA.
Yep. Tell them where they can find you, DC, and what you'll have when you're back.
Yeah. DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Report Facebook page. You can find me on Twitter at DavidCop50. I'll be out the next couple of weeks, but when I get back, we'll be starting our podcast up for our Alabama football preview for the upcoming season. So you can check us out on those platforms.
All right, that's DC Capstone Report. That's Simeon Houston. That's Chase Brumfield. I'm Martin Houston. This has been a Tuesday edition of the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier and Simeon. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. And not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Join us tomorrow as we break down those 4 points of what Coach had to say. What Greg Sankey, he's going to be coach. I'm just calling him coach. Greg Sankey had to say. We'll break it down in more detail on tomorrow. Roll Tide, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.